Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk back into the video day, and today the Houston Astros lose to the San Diego Padres 3-2, and still ultimately win the series, but came very close to sweeping one of the hottest teams in baseball, 16-6 San Diego Padres, and we're 15-4 going into the series. I'm gonna say this, and I feel like this is probably a feeling of a lot of Houston fans in general right now. This is probably going to be one of the games I don't care that much about, to be honest. Obviously I watched about the first 6 or 7 innings of this game, and I thought that there were guys in this offense that played really well today. Jake Myers looked good again. It's kind of been like this back and forth thing for Jake, where it's like great game, bad game, great game, bad game. And you've seen it in the last couple games. Jake Myers. Tuesday, 3 hits, stolen base. Next game, 0 for 3, 0 for 4. Next game, 3 hits. I think they were all singles. And then yesterday was 0 for 0 for 4. And then today, 2 for 4, a double, single. So Jake Myers hitting the ball really nicely over the last 5-6 games for the Astros and doing a good job. But when I say I just didn't, this loss doesn't mean much to me. Obviously, it's not like I wanted the Astros to win, but my heart right now is with the Rockets and their loss, and that's where my anger is right now. It's not towards the Astros, especially when this is regular season game number 21, and the Astros just won a series against the hottest team in baseball, and the one loss they took was was a game where the Astros lost by 1 run. So definitely not going to be upset about that. And if I'm correct, the score's just reversed. Because the Astros were, yesterday 1-3-2, then lose 3-2 today, so the score's reversed. And Astros, this time, not like in the 3-2 score yesterday, they did, but not today. But 3-2 final score, 10 hits for the Padres, 7 hits for the Astros, 1 error for the Astros. I forget who that might have gone to Cam Smith, I believe. But I don't know if I'm 100% right on that, because there was a Fernando Tatis. No, they did give Tatis the triple. So the error was not on Cam Smith. I don't know who the error. I forgot who the error was against. That's my fault. Win goes to Jacob. He's 1-0. He's 1-0 on the year. 1-0 on the year now. He went 1 1/3. Get 1 hit, 1 strikeout. Loss goes to Taylor Scott. He's 1-2 on the year now. We saw an amazing game for him yet. Here's the thing I will say. And I'm not going to get mad about Taylor Scott, because what was Joe Espada bringing in Taylor Scott in this game today? And I know the answer might be to me, well, Taylor Scott pitched 2 innings yesterday and looked great against his Padres lineup, and he got the win for the Astros. Well, the first part of that sentence should tell you why it's a bad idea bringing Taylor Scott into this ball game. He pitched 2 innings last night. I don't know why. So to me, that was dumb, bringing in Taylor Scott. Tatis hit a home run off of him. Now, I think Taylor Scott did good against Tatis last night. Maybe that was the strategy. Maybe that was the strategy there. But I don't think it's smart bringing in a guy who just pitched two innings for yesterday in a 2-2 ball game. 1 hit for one earned run was a Tatis home run. And to be fair, it was Fernando Tatis who killed it this series. And save goes to Suarez, his 9th of the year. Scoring summary, fielder's choice for Bogarts gets a run for the Padres, 1-0. And so, it was Dubon. Dubon got the error. That was where the error was. And Machado out at second. It's 1-0. Gavin Sheets, 3rd inning, single to right. Tatis scored. It's 2-0. Gavin Sheets in place of Luis Arraez. I want to say prayers to Luis. It was a terrible collision that him and Dubon had. Speaking of Dubon, 5th inning RBI single for the Dubon happens, and it's unfortunate. The Astros had way too much momentum in this run, in this 5th inning, to not score more than 2 runs. Because Dubon, there's no outs when Dubon hits the single. Dubon gets the RBI single, Myers scores. Smith gets the second. It's 2-1. And then Altuve. Oh my God, this Altuve. Altuve strikes out on a terrible pitch. There's one out. So you got one out and two runners on. And look, Yordan Alvarez does a smart thing here, but unfortunately gets into two outs. Sack fly for Yordan Alvarez, which this is like his third or fourth sack fly of the year. And Smith scores Yordan's 11th RBI of the year. And he's now tied with Isak for team leader. And 2-2. But then Tatis hits the home run in the seventh inning. I mean, look, I don't think if there are any Astros fans that are upset about this loss, you're just greedy. I mean, this Astro, honestly, I'm going to be honest. I didn't see the Astros winning this series. I saw the Astros getting, honestly, the one win I saw the Astros getting was tonight with Framber Valdez on the mound. I thought the offense would back him up more. They didn't. And so that's unfortunate. But I think you got to look at this series and be proud of the way the Astros played, because they had their fourth and fifth starters in the rotation and even though they had that, beat the hottest team in baseball. That to me, that's impressive. And the fact that they limited them in this series to 9 runs in 3 games, that's incredible as well. So let's go over the lineup tonight. Jose Altuve, single to right in the third inning, Myers to third. Fifth inning, strikeout swing, terrible pitch. And still swung, flied out to left in the seventh inning, was at DH tonight. Isak walked in the fifth inning. Bases were loaded in the fifth inning because Isak walked, and that's when Yordan Alvarez, hit the sac fly. Those are bases loaded at bat for Yordan, and then Pena had the bases loaded, and grounded out to third. So, but Isak had a walk in the fifth inning, load the bases. Third inning, strikeout swing on a terrible pitch, and then 2 groundouts. Yordan had a sac fly, a couple of groundouts, and a fly out to center. 0 for 3 for Yordan. Outside of a double yesterday, this was not a good series for Yordan at all. Jeremy Pena went 1 for 4. His streak continues, 11-hit game streak for Jeremy Pena. Double to left for JP, and lined out to left in the second inning, ground out to third. Fifth inning, he did reach base in his last at-bat, which I believe was in the, I want to say that was in the 8th inning, where Jeremy Pena, it was in the 8th or 9th inning where he struck out, but was able to reach base off the strikeout. It was a bad pitch. It went away, and Pena reached first base. Christian Walker went 0 for 4 today. Fielder's choice in that 8th inning. Yeah, so the Pena strikeout where he reached base was in the 8th inning, and Walker grounded into fielder's choice. He got to first base. Chas McCormick pinch run for him. Chas actually looked pretty good because Chas McCormick stole second base, and that gave and this is where it gets interesting, because this gives this gives Victor Caratini an opportunity to bring in a run for this Astros team and tied the game up at 3, but struck out looking for Caratini. He was 1 for 4 today. He had a single to center in the 6th inning. Jake Myers went 2 for 4 today, single and double in his first 2 at-bats, line out to right, and 9th inning, struck out looking. Cam Smith went 1 for 4. Had an amazing catch in right field, but also had a bad play in right field that led to potentially the Astros losing this game, because Tatis hit this led to Tatis getting a triple, and then Gavin Sheets brought him in. Probably would have just been a double for Tatis, which honestly Sheets still probably would have been an RBI for Sheets potentially. But Cam Smith went 1 for 4 today, single to right. Myers to third, scored a run for Cam Smith. Dubon went 1 for 3, RBI double in the 5th inning, and that was it for him. Diaz was a pinch hitter for Dubon in the 9th inning, struck out swinging. Valdez tonight went 6 innings. You look at Valdez's first couple innings, it did not look like Valdez was going to be able to go 6 innings. And the crazy fact of the way he started off in this game in the first 3 innings and how bad he looked, still was able to go 6 innings, only giving up 7 hits, 2 earned runs, 3 walks, 2 strikeouts, and walked out of the 6th inning with 87 pitches. If the Astros had wanted to, they could have, and I don't know why they didn't. And this would have figured out the Taylor Scott problem. The Astros could have potentially looked to Framber Valdez to try to pitch the first couple outs, if not all 3 outs of the 7th inning. I don't know why they didn't, especially with how good he was looking in innings 4 through 6, and maybe even you can look at how he rallied in the 3rd after giving up the second earned run that he gave up. So I don't know why the Astros didn't look to do that, but it is what it is. Because Taylor Scott came in, gave up the home run to Tatis. I guess the way you look at it is Tatis was I believe leading off that inning, and Tatis had already had some damage against Valdez. I guess that's the way to look at it. I don't know, but Taylor Scott only pitched the first 2 outs of the of the 7th inning, and then Stephen Okert came in, pitched the last out of the 7th inning and the first 2 outs of the 8th inning, gave up 1 hit with 1 strikeout. His ERA is under 1, 0.82. And then Logan Van Way pitched the last out of the 8th inning, gave up a walk, but got an out in 8 pitches. Brian King pitched the 9th, gave up a hit with the strikeout. He still looks amazing this year, only giving up 2 earned runs. So, tough loss for the Astros, but you want to make yourself feel better about this loss. There's 2 things you can say, and 2 things you can remind yourself. Remind yourself the Rockets lost Game 1 of the NBA playoffs, 95-85, and that the Astros won the series against the hottest team in baseball, coming into the series 15-4, San Diego Padres. Outside of that, tomorrow the Astros will continue to see former Astros. This series, you saw Yuli Gurriel, Martin Maldonado, and Jason Hayward, who did not play in the series. Tomorrow, it will be George Springer and the Blue Jays in town for a 3-game series. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section, and peace out.